What's up guys, welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/entitled people. Alright, this story's called Entitled Woman Berates My Dad for Not Doing Enough for My Terminally Ill Stepmother. Has not really done anything herself. A year ago, my stepmother was diagnosed with cancer. This was around the start of Brovid, and it took a month to get any type of diagnosis or to see a doctor. Anytime we tried to go to a hospital or emergency room, they expected us to literally just drop her off there and then went out of their way to get her out with any BS diagnosis they could. First it was constipation, then peptic ulcers, then gastritis. We finally got her to see a gastrologist, and then said gastrologist's office tried claiming they weren't taking appointments unless it was an emergency or trying to get her to cancel because I guess they too assumed it was constipation, gastritis, or ulcers. When we finally got her in, surprise, surprise, it was cancer. From March to September, there was a steady decline in her health. Chemo and radiation were a big actor. In September, however, her health improved. Okay, good. She started eating again, she would get up, she would walk around, she would cook, and would even go out shopping. We made sure to only go during hours designated for immunocompromised people. And even though a lot of people don't respect these, but that's another story about entitlement altogether. Then it got worse, and then it got worse. 2 months ago, they found more cancer, this time on her liver. The doctors gave her roughly a year to live. Through this entire experience, my dad has waited on her hand and foot, while taking over a lot of the duties, including taking care of my nephew, which they have legal guardianship of, a duty that used to pretty much be hers. When it became painful to walk, he was helping her and encouraging her to walk to and from the bathroom. He was also bathing her, as she would get really weak and lightheaded if she tried to do it herself. He was making sure she ate and was trying to help her become more mobile again. And this whole time, it's really only been him, myself, and occasionally her close friend that would help her with anything. This friend of hers visits regularly, brings her flowers and food if she's craving it, and is always there to talk on the phone. Obviously, this story is not about that friend. My sister has not helped her, as she locks herself in her room and plays video games all day. Her biological son and daughter, both adults, do not help her as much, and for roughly 8 months, her son would not even come and visit her. 2 weeks ago, she started complaining of chest pains and rapid heartbeats. My dad had to argue with her for days before she finally relented and had him call the paramedics. Given the really poor treatment of her early on, I think she was scared to go to the ER, but eventually it got too great. She had fluid around her heart and her lungs. One of her lungs had partially collapsed, and the doctors gave us the bad news that the cancer had spread, and her time left was a lot less. She's still sound of mind, and even while still hooked to a heart pump, she opted to stay for home care, / she's chosen to pass it home. The heart pump is temporary. Sorry, I'm probably calling something wrong. It's a machine that drains excess fluid from around her heart, but for the time being, she's anchored to her bed. My dad has been having to help her with a portable commode and bedpan. They have different hospice workers and specialists coming to visit her almost every day, including a woman who comes to give her sponge baths every other day. My dad still gives her quick wipe downs at least once a day. He also makes sure she's in fresh clothes and is clean and comfortable. I'm setting the story, now I can get to this other friend. This other friend has, before and during this whole ordeal, only taken my stepmother's calls when she feels like it. During it, she has never so much as reached out to offer condolences. Recently, however, she has berated my dad to both my stepmom and their mutual friend group for not doing enough, including bathing her. She also said they shouldn't be sharing a bed and she should have it by herself. She specifically asked to stay in their bed and have him sleep next to her, by the way. She has been berating him for a while and telling my stepmom what he should be doing and what he should have done to prevent all of this from happening. The funny thing is, their 28-year marriage was almost destroyed because he tried numerous times to get her to quit smoking. And this was another moment this friend had stepped in to call my dad cruel and controlling for not allowing my stepmom to do what she wanted with her body. Apparently, she's also started throwing me into her grievances and specific instructions, saying I should either take an extended leave of absence from work or quit altogether. It just trips me out because this woman is not a medical professional. She also hasn't even popped in to visit once, or hell, even send a card or something. She doesn't take my stepmom's calls for half of the time or picks up just to tell her she's busy. And she has the nerve to dictate how other people should care for someone? Come on! Yikes. Man, I feel bad for OP's stepmom and stepmom's family because cancer sucks. And what stepmom's friend is doing, the meanie head, that's not cool because, like, she's just trying to artificially inflate how caring she looks, not by doing anything other than to complain at other people to do more when she herself is doing nothing. But I just summarized the whole story for you. But yikes, man. Let's just, hope that OP's stepmom's, time remaining here, however long that may be, hopefully it's as long as possible, is as pleasant as possible. Alright, this story's called My Best Friend Acts Like an Entitled Spoiled Brat and the Friendship is So One-Sided! I'm ready to call it quits. So my friend and I are both 22 years old. We have been best friends since 2011. We both still live at home. My friend has only ever had one job but got fired. So she sits at home all the time and begs me to do stuff with her. I work full-time at a grocery store. She expects me on my weekends off to hang out with her and goes ape crap when I don't. I have a boyfriend and other priorities to cater to, which she doesn't seem to understand. My friend has always been pretty spoiled by her parents. So, for me, I pay my parents for monthly rent, phone bill, car insurance, etc., which my friend thinks is weird and makes fun of me for it. When my friend worked, she didn't have to pay her parents for any of that. My friend also likes to brag about blowing her stimulus check on new clothes, childhood toys, or new electronics, none of which she needs. Her parents pay for everything, and they also don't make her do chores either, which I find odd. But okay. But the thing is, she brags about this, like, all the time, like it's some flex. When we hang out, there has been numerous times where she forgot her money and I ended up having to pay for her. Because I didn't want to listen to her scream and berate me, she never paid me back. I've gone to concerts of singers she likes with her, but if it's someone I like and she hates, she won't go. We always have to do what she wants to do, or she ruins it if it's something I want to do by acting moody and like a mean person. She flips like a light switch. If you say something and she doesn't like it or she takes it the wrong way, she gets all pissy and ends up blowing up or giving the silent treatment. She acts like a toddler. She gets jealous when I hang out with my boyfriend or even text him when I'm hanging out with her. She yells at me for talking to him. However, when she has a guy, she non-stop talks about all the deets of when she got laid and how good he was. If I tell her I'm uncomfortable, she tells me to grow up and that it's normal. She also loves to self-deprecate, but project that onto me, then say she was just joking when I get offended that I'm being sensitive. On the last vacation I took with just her, it was a nightmare. It had to be her way and what she wanted to do the entire week, or she yelled and walked away from me, or walks away from me. Won't answer calls or texts. In the hotel room, we went to bed when she wanted to go to bed, or wake up when she wants to. I went along with it because I didn't feel like getting into a fight, but boy was I miserable, and I was so happy when it was over. Although she made us miss our flights back, and my parents had to pay for new ones. Because hers couldn't. I don't think she even asked. My parents aren't exactly fond of her and tell me she needs to grow up and they can't wait for the day her parents kick her out. Although I don't see that happening. They ask me why I'm still friends with her. They think she's selfish and uses me. I think I feel bad for her because she has no other friends, which is why I stay in this friendship, but I've had it. She's too exhausting to deal with anymore. She's gotten worse. It's not my fault she has nobody else except her parents. It's her fault. I need to stop feeling bad for her. It's like she uses me as a verbal punching bag and a personal chauffeur. My boyfriend thinks she's toxic as hell. She also blames how she acts on her mental disorders, saying she can't help it and this is just how she is and I know this. I can't take it anymore. Yeah, she does sound pretty insufferable. It sounds like my cousin telling me about her friend, because she's kind of crazy like this. But I don't know. Maybe eventually they learn, they grow up, but maybe don't stick around if it's that hard. Or just let her know your grievances and tell her that, give her a chance to improve, I guess. Alright, this story's called How Dare You State What Your Fiancé's Previous Job Was to My Dad? That's so disrespectful! I don't know if that's a chick, but I'm reading it in the chick voice. I'm gonna jump right into the story since there really is no background to be told. There's your cast, there's me, yours truly. Jay, let's say John or Joanne, I don't know if it's a girl or a boy. It's their best friend having car trouble. My other best friend who is helping, who is Michael or Michelle. And then there's Crazy Bish, who is rude. Okay, Crazy Bish. There we go. Amazing guy who went out of his way to help my friend. So, okay, so it's a dude, so it's Joe. So Joe drives a 2016 Ford Focus. This is important to know. And we decided to stop by a vape shop near my house on the way home from work today. He turned his car off, we went inside, and when we came back out, but when he went to turn his car on, the car wouldn't start and nothing on the dash would light up. The first guy who tried to help us tried to jump Joe's car to no avail. He tried jumping it several more times, all to no avail, before finally deciding it was just dead. We thanked him for trying anyway, and he left. Right as guy number 1 left, amazing guy, is it amazing guy or awesome guy? Amazing guy. Pulled up in his car with his 2 daughters, probably both in their 20s at least. Oh, so he was an old amazing guy, okay. And saw that we were having troubles, so he tried his hand at jumping the car, also to no avail. This is where Michelle comes in. Michelle's fiance was a Ford technician for 10 years before his current job, and so he has taught Michelle a good bit about Ford cars, so I knew she'd know enough to at least make some recommendations on what Joe could do. There we go. I rang her up and gave her our location, and she was there in about 10 minutes to help Joe and Amazing Guy. Michelle is a saint, let me tell ya. Amazing Guy and Michelle were discussing possible battery issues. I guess Crazy Bish had her window down and could hear what was being said. Michelle brought up to Amazing Guy that her fiance was a Ford technician for over 10 years, so she knows enough about Ford cars. And Crazy Bish lost her poop over that statement. Let me make it clear that Michelle did not say it in a condescending or impolite manner. She simply stated it to Amazing Guy so she could share her knowledge of Ford cars, not to make Amazing Guy feel stupid. And Amazing Guy wasn't even offended by the comment, so why Crazy Bish is beyond me. She opened her door and the conversation went as follows. If you're gonna be rude, you can just leave. Wait, what? I'm just trying to help. Dad, it's your birthday. We have a cake waiting for us and they're being so disrespectful to you. We should just leave. She then slams her door shut and Amazing Guy apologizes on behalf of Crazy Bish, then proceeds to help with Joe's car. It's another 10 minutes or so before Amazing Guy finally manages to get Joe's car up and running. Turns out what needed to be done was the red cable needed to be unhooked, then hooked back up. And Amazing Guy was finally able to go on his way. We thanked Amazing Guy profusely for his help before he left, but as he pulled off, Choosing Beggar shouted, "Screw you, you freaking grunt!" to Michelle, to which Michelle responded by flipping Crazy Bish off. Okay, Crazy Bish, but realistically, if someone making a simple statement about their fiance's previous job is disrespectful, then imagine how disrespectful I must have been to billions of other people I was having friendly conversations with. What, billions of people? Wow, someone is social. If my adult daughter spoke to someone like that for no real reason, they'd be out of my car and walking home. I wouldn't tolerate that sort of behavior from my adult daughter or son. Yeah, that bitch is crazy. But someone was insecure there. I guess that's all I got from that. This story's called, I Just Found My Cat. My new entitled neighbor tried to get her taken away. So I found my cat on Wednesday and found my new crazy neighbor. I just posted here yesterday about this, but this can't be an edit for that. This is a whole new level of crazy neighbor. So today I was walking down the street with my cat on a leash. She's an outdoor cat and she likes to go on walks. I know, crazy. And we see my neighbor, known as entitled neighbor, walking with her autistic daughter. I'm not sure why that's in quotes. We keep walking along and we cross paths with her. And my cat, being the sweetheart she is, she rubs up against entitled neighbor and her daughter. The daughter's cool. I like her because she bent down to pet my cat and said, "Kitty!" It was adorable. But entitled neighbor, on the other hand, she screamed and pulled her daughter away. "Your cat just bit me," she said, even though my cat doesn't bite. There was no mark, and I saw no blood anywhere. Get that wild animal away from me now! Firstly, this is a domestic outdoor cat. Secondly, my cat has never bitten anyone and is a sweetheart. Well, she bit me. I'm going to file a report to the local health department and I'm going to get your cat taken away. Ma'am, I have tried to be respectful, but my cat doesn't bite. If you did actually get bit or scratched, you should go and wash it out. This neighborhood isn't safe with that cat around. It's a devil! She made a call to the local health department and said something about a serious wild animal bite. I listened in, and once I got my info, I left. Now I'm waiting to see if the people are actually going to come and take my cat away after I just got her back. Honestly, I think they're just gonna take my cat away to quarantine her if they think entitled neighbor actually did get bit. Okay, I thought they'd explain it, but I'm still lost as to why they put autistic in quotes. Does the neighbor act like her kid's autistic? Like, does she tell people her kid's autistic, but her kid's not actually autistic? But like, that's just weird, man. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.